No, it's a movie that takes place at Christmas. Wait, this isn't Die Hard? I'm Justin.
You're the dead man on campus because the dead man on campus shot you? I'm Sam.
Ho, 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 they all said at the script club. Okay, there's no strip club in this movie. I'm Jackie, and this is Detective Night Redemption on Stinker Madness.
Hello and welcome to Stinker Madness. It's another, it's our final Christmas movie of the year. Brought to you by Jackie's Pick this week, starring Bruce Willis. Currently streaming on Tubi TV, the second chapter in a three-part chapter called Detective Night, which I was not aware of until this episode. And even though, despite all the publicity that Bruce Willis has been getting lately because of his terrible condition, nobody, like even the CBS people, the mornings that interviewed him, didn't mention these movies because they're bad. Sorry, everybody.
They're bad.
They're bad. Oh boy, and uncomfortable. There we go. Sam, go ahead.
Well, I'm going to start in a weird spot because I was watching the first 15 minutes of this movie and I'm like, who the fuck are these people? What the fuck is going on? This is obviously contingent on...
You didn't watch the first one?
I watched the first one.
Oh, God, no. You poor man.
The first one makes this one make more sense. These two, and which is where I'm really interested in the third one now because, like, I have to watch the third one for two reasons. One... Detective Night Rogue and Detective Night Redemption form a perfectly complete two-part story arc.
Okay.
Leaving, I don't know what, for part 3. But maybe they thought that too, so they roped in Dina Meyer for part 3.
All right.
So I'm going to see how she's doing these days.
Probably not great.
Probably not great. So the first one is obviously a heist film. Of the two of them, the most fun heist it's not just like, man, we really loved that scene in Heat where they're just shooting shit up.
Right.
Which they perform pretty mediocrely in this one, but a little bit better in the first one. So Wayne Gretzky's kid is in the first one.
Okay.
And possibly the third one.
Why?
And it's hard to tell who's in which one, and there's a bunch of confusion. Like the internet has like Seth Rollins from WWE playing one of the characters in this that it is not that guy. The guy's name is Cody Kearsley that plays Dejan, not Dijon, but
right.
Dejan.
Dejan. I love Dejan.
So the internet thinks it might be Seth Rollins. It is not. So there's various who's who maybe in these things, and it kind of alludes that Gretzky's in all three of them, but he's definitely not in the second one. He's definitely in the first one. And the main pivotal heist in the first one is stealing a Wayne Gretzky rookie card.
Oh my God. So is he...
And that heist is super fun because there's an auction with like weird like sex masks. Like nobody wants to know who's got this. Maybe it's a black market auction or some shit like that.
Like Eyes Wide Shut?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then there's just a normal auction other than people wearing stupid masks.
Did they have pants on?
Yeah,
why are they wearing the sex
fucking
mask?
auction in an art house?
You can have an auction during Eyes Wide Shut.
What if
that's
it's
a totally
stolen
logical
card?
place? But what, like you buy dinosaurs at one of those sex places? You bang people. You put your fist into chocolate cake and stuff like that. I can see that. That checks out. Why are they wearing sex masks? If they're not wearing, if they are also wearing pants, if there's none of the sex stuff going on, why do they have the sex masks on?
Maybe it's a black market. I couldn't figure that out. And the gal
just wear normal masks.
So it's just a snatch and grab. Like they actually have to plan a timed run out, and the two guys aren't Gretzky's kid and our hero-ish Corey. is not fast enough. And so the gal that's with him does it, and she has like a light up LED smiley face. And it's just her running around with these bumbling idiots chasing her. And she's like up the stairs and down the stairs and hop and whoop and hiding the card. And it was a lot of fun. Nothing else in the movie was a lot of fun, but that was a lot of fun. Her character also goes to jail, and we just never really see what happens to her again. Okay. Like, we don't even know if she gets convicted because she stashes the card. And so they really don't have anything on her other than attempted robbery, which can't even be grand larceny because you can't even prove that she really knew what she was doing because she was wearing an LED smiley face. Sure. And it just seems like tomfoolery. I feel like they can get her for like trespassing. So she probably just fucks off for the rest of the series and has a nice life. Nice. But what is happening in the first one is dead man on campus gets shot by the guy who gets shot in the head when they're like, hey, Corey, you have to kill your friend. And then he shoots him and the gun's empty. And they're like, ha, 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 but you're committed now. And then they shoot him anyway, which doesn't make any fucking sense. That guy's actually one of the producers of all these films. And there's two production companies that go into it. There's 308 Entertainment and this Furla Emmett Productions, or Emmett Furla Oceans Incorporated or something like that. And they're responsible, one or the other or both, and it's both teaming up for these last three. And I feel like these are the last three movies that Willis did, even though Assassins gets released after that. Because of how these are made, it's a lot of people involved that are his friends and people that he's worked with over this 20 film span that it is most comfortable, I'm guessing. Probably. But the long and the short of the first movie is at the end of it, Detective Knight is like, he's been in this guy's pocket, the main bad guy that's pulling all the strings on the Gretzky rookie card.
Big time heist.
Big time heist. 2 million, I guess. I don't know.
What? No. Not a chance.
Again, you get Gretzky's kid, you gotta, trump up the value a little bit.
$2 million on a Wayne Gretzky.
2.1.
No.
I think it got to 2.3 at the auction, something like that, before the smiley face lady. Like, that was like part of the snatch and grab too, is that she was, or the just grab, whatever it is. It's like once it got over 2 million, then she's clear to like steal it now that it's been valued at such.
So they're just getting it graded. It's just an elaborate scheme to get a little case that says 9.8 on it.
The card thing, the more I think about it, that's going to stand out on silly heists of all time for me. But
I'm guessing a 9.8 graded Wayne Gretzky rookie card is probably worth about $6,000.
I think they're going to push this off as it's the original pressed one. It's the one that was kept by the company. It's still in the plot. Like, it's got the case, the whole thing.
$12,000.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
2.1.
All I know is Gretzky's kid's in it. There's Gretzky.
Is Gretzky's kid playing himself?
No. So the backstory of our hero, Corey Rhodes, is him and Gretzky's kid were athletes that both washed out. Like, he got hurt. Okay. And so he was the quarterback of the Chargers and had one of the most tremendous rookie seasons ever. Okay. Isn't it amazing to hear all this only watching the second one?
Right.
You're like, who's this fucking guy? He used to quarterback for the Chargers. That guy unseated Drew Brees for a couple seasons and then tore his ACL. Now he's hooked on the painkillers.
Isn't that Remember the Titans? With
I don't know.
Keanu, isn't that his backstory? Jackie, you like that movie? Isn't that his backstory?
I've never seen that movie.
Oh man, I'm thinking
you're talking about The Replacements with Gene Hackman.
Yeah, with Hackman. Yeah, that's the story there.
Yeah, he's Hackman. Only his addiction to opioids has pressed him into a life of crime, and they're such a good team. And I don't know if the gal was like what cheerleader or was the volleyball player. I think they went to the same high school and they're all high school athletes, but they're just clowning everybody because they're so athletic.
Okay. So silly.
But by the end of Detective Knight Rogue, what happens is this guy that's pulling all the strings is got Willie in his pocket, kind of dirtyish, but not really.
Okay.
and he's had enough of this guy, and so he thumps Corey up pretty good and tosses him in the trunk. He's like, "You're just gonna kill me?" He's like, "No, we're gonna go kill that guy that I hate so much that's fucking up your life." And they do. Mm-hmm. And one of Bruce Willis's buddy that's in that Tears of the Sun movie is actually a producer on this, and he only is in the first one. The Corey kills him. No, Bruce Willis kills everybody. He just murders these people in their home, and they have to go to prison with dirty cop and accomplice and all robbery and all that happening. And then it starts exactly where the last, like, there is seriously no ending of Detective Night Rogue. Like, the ending of Detective Night Rogue is the first 10 minutes of this movie.
Okay. What about Casey? Casey from this movie, is he in the first one?
Oh, Casey. Sorry. Casey Rhodes is the quarterback of the Chargers.
I
called him Corey. Sorry.
Okay.
So Casey and his buddy, the guy that he inadvertently gets shot, who's the producer and the guy that runs 308 Entertainment, they're in the first one. The guy that gets shot in this one is a real shithead in the first one. He's the guy that actually shoots Dead Man on campus, I think, or at least causes the shootout that causes Dead Man on campus to get shot.
Okay.
See, Justin, I told you we should have watched the first one.
No, we shouldn't have, because it sounds like a terrible, painful experience. Just watching one of these was bad enough. I don't want to watch two of them, let alone three.
Plus, I got you just caught up right there.
Yeah, I'm good.
It was probably more fun listening to me talk about it than it was watching it.
Probably.
Because I swear to God, I was just watching it to catch up to where we were. I was reading about the productions of these and all that and what was going on. I was fairly tuned out, but just like key moments. Oh, this smiley-faced heist chase is kind of fun. And then key moments, just to see what the fuck was going on with it. Because there is. If you go into this one cold, 10 minutes in, you're like, I feel like I'm missing something.
See, here's the thing, listener. You may not know about Sam. Sam has a deep-rooted, very borderline OCD disorder. OCD disorder? Disorder? Where he cannot watch any of the sequels of a movie franchise without feeling pain inside of him if he hasn't seen the first, whether he cares about that franchise for any amount of reason at all. It pains him physically to have not seen the previous films. Like Blood Fist 3 or whatever it must have been like, oh God, I haven't seen Blood Fist 2 since Sam. Oh.
Well, I didn't have to feel that way because it was a standalone picture that had nothing to do with the other two Blood Fists.
But just knowing that there's, this other material out there, I'm sure it tickled that bone pain a little bit, like, ugh.
Oh yeah, I had to look it up and make sure first. And on this one, I was totally fine. Like, this is going to be such a turd anyway that I didn't really care that I wasn't going to see the first one. But I really was like, wow, there's a lot going on here. And that these two first movies in this trilogy are seriously a two-part story arc that the end of the first movie is the beginning of the second one. They're like one movie. That's
the same thing, Sam. You're like, no, I was fine with this one. No, you weren't. Normal people would be like, yeah, I just don't give a shit, even if there is something, but you have to do it.
I do. I mean, it's not borderline obsessive compulsive. It's straight up there, but I will recognize that a lot of Hollywood franchises, like you could go to Bad Boys 2 not having seen Bad Boys 1 and be totally fine. You could go to Guardians 2 not having seen Guardians 1 and be totally fine. They're made as a standalone thing. These weren't. These are straight up like dependent on each other story-wise. But I don't think you have to watch the first one. You could just listen to me run it down like that with the Gretzky business and the smiley face gal that was super hot and then just doesn't get to be in the movies anymore.
You're doing the Lord's work right now.
Yeah.
Amen.
So the guy that directed this, Edward John Drake, did some music videos in the early teens and then did a couple of indie films and then did 9 of these Bruce Willis movies. So he's one of the preferred directors for what was happening at this time.
Anything we would have heard of.
All of these Bruce Willis movies.
Yeah, so like...
that you haven't heard of.
Okay, then nothing.
So this all starts with Emmett Furlong, I think in like Furla in like 2019, maybe earlier, where he starts to do these, and he hasn't sort of really kind of started losing it yet. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, like, you want to wonder, like, was he being coerced into doing this? Was he not? But it sounds like he was getting $2 million a picture for 2 days of shooting, and he did 20 pictures in 2 years.
Yeah.
And for a guy who's struggling with his mortality, I'm just going to assume that this is actually kind of a safe space for him, especially when I'm going to tell you more. But like, if you're in that position where you're kind of losing it and you're concerned with mortality, you probably do come to sort of, you kind of wake up every once in a while and you tell your wife, no, I do. I want to do the movie. I want to do the movie. Just trust me. I want to do the movie. And then you get lost and everybody kind of handles you with kid gloves. But I feel like at the very core of him, he probably did want to be doing these movies, and he wasn't being coerced into it against his will or anything.
Yeah, I don't think that at all. I think that when you're at that point and you've got the facilities and you know that it's a ticking clock, you're thinking, this is the last what I can do. This is what I am soon about to not be able to do anything. This is what I can do right now. I've got kids. I've got, I will do the money. This is no coercion. Fuck off.
And you got to think that, like, this is his whole career, right? This is what he's been doing his whole life, and he's about to lose it. And, that feeling of this could be my last picture probably is what also kind of prompts him on to continue doing, like Sam said, 20 of these.
Yeah. They sitting at home fishing until you lose it? No.
It's much more sad than that. We'll get there. But also, they wrapped the last one of these in 2022. Mm-hmm. They went at such a pace that it took until this year to get post-production through all of them.
Yeah.
I'll get into a little bit more on why that is as well. So towards the end of his career, he did 20 films for Emmett Furla and 308 Entertainment, or both. These are both. And that's why I think these are actually the last ones that are shot, because it's a team effort between these two companies that were working with him. And there's a lot of people around him that he's worked with a whole lot. So I even though it might be Assassins that's released last, I kind of feel like these were shot last, but who's to say? Who is to say? By the end of this run, he's down to where they're cutting his lines in half, and he's only doing 1 day of shooting. Mm-hmm. If you can get him in 1 day, we'll do it. Otherwise, we're going to wait for him to feel better. It was around this time that in 2022 that they couldn't really figure out what was going on with him, and they diagnosed him with aphasia, mm-hmm. which is the loss of the ability to your language center in your brain breaks down. But then in this last year, when he's not working anymore, he's with the doctors more, they upgraded it to frontal temporal dementia, which is like that, only much worse, much more degenerative, and much more aggressive. So he's kind of in this 2021, 2022, he's really losing the ability to understand language and use language. And it's really sad. Most of the shots in this movie, if you see a non-profile shot, it's really him just sort of facing towards the camera, kind of making Bruce Willis faces. And if he gives a line, it's about 3 words so they can feed it to him off camera. Other than that, you notice that this film has a ton of profile shots where he's seated comfortably and he kind of has the ability to deliver them when he wants. It's because it's a profile shot, because on the other side he has an earpiece,
right,
where they're slowly feeding him the lines so that he can deliver them.
So I've got a couple notes here. He does not utter a single line until 26 minutes of the movie, and I would be willing to bet that 3/4 of his dialogue takes place over a phone.
Yes. The phone in the bar scene was a scene that they obviously got a lot of miles out of. They probably recorded all the phone dialogue in there, and then they could do a thing with him where he could comfortably do as he wished because the phone was on and they were feeding him his lines through the phone, and he could do whatever he want that way. And you also notice his pronunciation
there's no I can't think of a single time where him and an actor are in the same frame at the same time. He's on one camera, maybe the other guy's not even there, but there is a lot of him. I mean, I can't think of it at all other than the action sequence where he's sharing the camera. There's
Dead Man on Campus he does movies with, the guy that was in the first one that you didn't watch that's in Tears of the Sun. He shares scenes with people he knows that he can recognize.
He shares
because
scenes,
he's known him
but
for
not
so long.
shares the frame,
no,
Sam.
Shots.
Yeah.
There are shared shots, but it's only with people that he knows really well. There's a couple of shared shots in the prison scene and I think that's one of the reasons why this the person that plays Casey Rhodes, is in the 3 picture things, just so that like he's familiar.
Right.
He can actually share a shot and know who this guy is.
Right.
And other than that, you only get the rounders that have been Bruce Willis mainstays that get to share shots with him. But for the most part, he doesn't share a lot of the shots with anybody. And it's because they're a minimal crew, making it as comfortable as possible and getting it done in a day. This is probably at the point where he was down to being able to shoot for a day on a movie.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And you can really hear his pronunciation breaking down. It's very sad. The Golden Raspberry people didn't have all of the information that we have now. Okay. And because these are coming out at a breakneck period and breakneck pace, and they're just like, Bruce Willis is on the cover. He's in the movie for 15 minutes of screen time. They made a separate category of the Razzies that was worst Bruce Willis performance of the year, and then they would put every movie in. And then when they came out that this is what was happening to him, they're like, oh, fuck, we are so sorry. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing Gayle King get pretty pissed off about that.
Yeah, and I myself have struggled with the Willie during his career when he mails it in, when he doesn't. But for the most part, especially now when you watch this, and it's a fun swan song. They're crap, but at least he got to go out on his own, and I'm happy to watch him for that reason. And what a trooper, huh?
Yeah.
Like it kind of reevaluate. Like I think I'm back in on the Willie now.
No, I mean, if listeners remember, frontal lobe dementia is what my father died from back in 2017. And like he was way older, and Bruce Willis being as young as he is, not that he's a spring chicken, he's, an elderly man, but like having that he was in action movies as an old guy for quite some time. And still doing it. I mean, he has been a bald, wrinkly guy since like Die Hard 4. And, having it as early as he did and knowing that, look, there was probably a lot more life I could have lived if it hadn't been for this horrendously terrible disease that destroys not only me, but the people around me. And still being like, instead of falling into, a depression where you just want to be alone and not remind anybody around you that you can't even remember who they are, I think is not, somebody might call that selfish, but I consider it extremely brave. It's tough as fucking
super brave.
Shit. It's incredibly hard to do. And leaving, as much of a mark on the industry that you work in as you possibly can. It's like, I'm not trying to like, I'm probably saying something stupid, but it's like a farmer who lost both of his arms in a combine accident, still out there farming while using his feet to steer the goddamn tractor because he wants to do as much farming as fucking possible. I think it's impressive. And not just for Bruce Willis, but these people that you're talking about that are around him being that sensitive and also committed to him, because you could have put anybody in that slot, right? There's a 1,000 other guys in line that could play Detective Knight, but Bruce Willis wants to do it, and they're like, we can make it work. That's cool.
It is, and I honestly think that I gotta look up this guy's name that was in the first one. Johnny Mesner's the guy that was in Tears of the Sun. Sure. He's listed as a producer on these, and I don't know that his tasks are more than just hanging out with his friend.
Yeah. Yeah, might be.
And I think that's awesome if that's what really happened,
so
right?
I think so too.
And I would just like to say that when I picked this movie, I thought it was older than it was, and and as soon as he came on screen, it immediately hit me like, oh shit, this is after he's been diagnosed. It was obvious to me, even when he was not speaking.
Very much so.
And I was like, oh fuck, I am an asshole.
Yeah. I'm glad we did it because we can have this conversation on the program about it, because that was one of the things his family wanted more than anything, was to raise awareness about these types of dementia that people don't really know about.
Right. Right. No, I agree. It is uncomfortable, Jackie. And if you think we're going to be making a bunch of poorly tasted jokes about Bruce Willis's acting in this episode, like we would of say nobody else, because we're not that big of dicks, but it's not like Neil Breen has an excuse for acting terribly. I
don't really think that the acting was terrible on his part. I think he did Bruce Willis.
He did Bruce Willis, but you can tell. And I'm not saying, like, what I'm trying to get to is, like, yeah, it's uncomfortable to watch, but at the same time, like, we should not watch. Yeah, the movies are terrible, but like that, Bruce Willis's dementia shouldn't be the reason why you wouldn't watch these movies. It should be actually kind of celebrated, these in these movies.
Yeah, he did this so that you could see it, so you should watch it. Like, I'm glad I watched these. I am going to watch the third one. Back into the production of these. Go ahead, Jackie.
I got a question for you, Sam, because you did watch the first one.
Sure.
Could you tell, was there a difference between the first one and the second one in his speech or his acting at all?
No, in fact, I would say that they had shot these kind of wham bam. And that's where in the reading about what had happened, I know that Assassins comes out last. It could have been shot in this time. It could have been shot last. But it seems to me that these Detective Knights are his, like, I'm going to do these shitty Bosch movies and I'm going to call it.
Yeah, and he's probably, to make all three for just Bruce Willis, is probably a month's worth of work, Jackie, so it's not a huge amount of time.
It's 3 days.
Yeah, it's not a huge amount of work.
Okay.
How long it takes to shoot him, who knows, but they got him in there for a day, maybe a day and a half. And they moved him around a little bit, because the first one was shot in Las Cruces, and I think the last one was shot in Vancouver. I don't know where this one was shot. It was difficult. It's very difficult to tell exactly what's happening with these productions because they're so breakneck. What I can say about the first one, Rogue, is that they were shooting in Las Cruces, which is also where Rust was shot.
Rust. Oh, that movie none of us have seen.
There had been an incident early on when he's starting to lose it.
I heard something.
That he just kind of discharged a blank on set.
Okay. Okay.
Unconfirmed. But he was always really confused about it. And Las Cruces is like, we're not going to do. They paused all production in Las Cruces after Rust happened.
Right.
And when these guys go in to shoot, they're like, so no blanks is the rule now. We're more than happy to oblige. It's going to cost us more, but we're more than happy to oblige. And you can tell that in these movies, people are yanking the gun. It's all post-production gun effects.
Right.
So that does lean on the actors kind of hard and lean on the post-production people pretty hard, because the whole point of the blank is to simulate the gun action more than it is to simulate the sound, or the fire can be added later, or whatever you want to do there. But the actual snap of the firearm is what they don't have to fake when they're using blanks. And they had to fake all that in these because of that other terrible, terrible incident that happened in Las Cruces, New Mexico.
I understand that the best way to fake that effect when you don't have blank, Sam, is to go bang, 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 bang on pew, camera.
Pew.
Sometimes you can do pew-pews, but bang bangs usually work. Yeah. Oh, there we go. That's a good one. That'll always get that action going. Yeah, you can work around it by, using your mouth.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. If I had to be in this movie and they were like, look, no blanks, I would be like, okay, you're going to have to edit this out. Bang, 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 bang. Because your arm automatically does whatever your mouth is doing.
I would make it so much sillier. Like, I couldn't get into character at all. I wouldn't be a tough guy. I'd be like dual wielding and like twirling my guns in between shots. Like I'm in a freaking Metal Gear Solid game, like doing all these cool between the leg shots and around the back and just bang, bang, bang. Like I couldn't help it. I'd be having fun.
If you were in a Metal Gear Solid game, you'd be hiding in a bush for 17 hours.
A box, Sam. It's a box.
The critical evaluation of these is a little bit strange. All three of them have the exact same score on Rotten Tomatoes and are almost reviewed as if they're one movie.
Okay.
And that's a 67% critic rating and an 80+% user rating.
What?
It didn't. I read all of them. It didn't seem like they're plants, but it's pretty high.
This
Whereas
has
if you
a
go
4
to
on IMDb.
IMDb, this one has like a 3.8. The first one has this one has a 4. The first one has a 3.8, and the third one has a 3.4.
Yeah, what's up with that? Is this like
Kind Eyes?
Is this like
And
some Bryan Adams shit where juice in the system? Like you can't say this movie sucks. Sort of thing. That doesn't make any sense.
Of the 2 professional reviews that were positive I read, 2 of them were very honest. One of them was like, look, you're watching a DTV movie.
Mm-hmm.
If you like these DTV movies, you're going to like this one. The other one was, if you know exactly what's going on with this, you should probably enjoy it. The other ones were a little like, oh, these get better as they go. And I'm like, do they though?
I see, because
yeah,
I don't think of this movie as just because it's DTV and because of Bruce Willis's cognitive decline and the limited capabilities of your main actor. I think it's just really stupid. I mean,
really dumb.
That's my problem with it, is it's just really dumb. Like, there's a lot of dumb shit in it, but we'll get into all that.
The guy that was the actor that's also the producer that gets shot or whatever, he wrote the story for it. John Edward Drake spit out the script as quick as he could. I already mentioned Lachlan Monroe, his partner in the wheelchair, who you see. He has a real fun fight scene at the end of the first movie where he's bedridden and he's about to get murdered by injection in between the toes. And he like wakes up because the guy's tickling his feet. And he's like, what are you doing that for? He's like, wait a second, I gotta kill you. And then he hospital beds this guy into a headlock and kills him and then just goes, nurse.
There's a dead guy
awesome. Nurse, dead guy. I killed him. Fucking asshole doesn't realize I'm dead man on campus. At one point, Jack Kilmer is going to show up, I think, in the third one, hopefully. So that's another reason for me to watch, see what Jack's doing.
Okay. We got to get into this, Sam. We're 30 minutes in.
I know. The guy that's the bad guy in this he's a CW act, the primetime soaps that they did, One Tree Hill, Seventh Heaven, all that. He's one of those guys. Okay. And then last notable is Hunter Daly, the wife of Casey, not Corey, Rhodes, is the daughter of one E.G. Daly.
Okay.
A.K.A. Dottie from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh, how cute. That's cute.
Yeah. Looks just like her.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay, are we ready?
That's what I got.
All right, let's do this. Detective Night Redemption. This is a Christmas pick by Jackie because she saw the cover and there was Santas and Bruce Willis, and she was like, bam, this is Die Hard 2. Wait, no, that's a different movie. We're going to do a Christmas movie about crime. And
I'm not going to lie. I picked it because I saw bank robbers with Santa masks and Bruce Willis. You are absolutely right. I didn't read anything about this movie. I was just like, oh, look at that. That's a gem in the rough right there. I was excited.
Okay. All right. All right. So here's what we got. We've got Christmas crime going on. There is a spree of crime happening because of men in a Fight Club-esque gang that all dress up as Santas. Borderline. They've got cheap Santa suits on for the entire gang, and then some guys just have white ski masks on, and then, like, I guess the main guys have these. I don't know where they got these masks, if the props department bought these or made these and then smeared blood on them, but they are not good Santa masks. If you went out wearing this as a Santa mask without the blood on them, you would still have children crying every time they saw you because you were a thing of nightmares.
Absolutely. One of the first shots we get is this fake bloody Santa head sitting in the middle of guns, and you're like, what am I in for here?
Yeah, yeah. Well, so they're getting ready, and instead of... I was trying to come up with something good, you know, like when you have that sequence in the movies where you're like, you're locking and loading. We needed to come up with something Christmassy, like I got rapping and rocking. That's the best I could do. You know?
Yeah, they were
you guys aren't helping.
The slow lock and load, because it wasn't like...
Yeah, but you got to make it Christmassy.
Boom, boom, boom.
You got to make it Christmassy, Sam.
Well,
but they're even slow for Christmas. Like, if Grandma was making cookies this slow, you'd be like, I can take over, Grandma. It's all right. They're fucking around.
Yeah, they're dropping presents on the street. And they've obviously taken... Yeah, but they've taken some time to, like, they have bows. The wrapping paper's pretty nice. I mean, they've taken some time here. To really, it's about presentation for this group, Justin.
They're setting up, like, Joker-style traps, like the Dark Knight. Hey, Detective Knight, Dark Knight. Style, like, oh, we're taking over the town. And there's a lot of, like, Christopher Nolan wannabe shit in this sequence. But then there's, like, just general people walking around the streets with these fucking creepy-ass Santa guys setting down presents. And I think we've learned a little bit since 9/11. Like, see something, say something, guys. Like, you can't just set a backpack down on the street and walk off and have everybody be like, oh, man, that guy forgot his backpack. Here, mister, your backpack. No, that's a fucking bomb.
And they're not even concealing their automatic rifles all that well. This is obviously a terrorist attack.
Very much so. But people, you know, people are busy shopping, Sam. That's the thing. They're rushing out for Christmas. They don't have time to stop crime and call the transit authority or whoever you call. I don't even know. You got to get those Christmas cards. It's last minute. Sorry, streets of... I just won't go there tomorrow. Anyway, so they take a Molotov cocktail.
This is so fucking Cobra. The Cobra right now. Yeah. Like, he Molotovs the mall tree.
The mall tree.
The mall Christmas. It's like the East parking lot entrance mall tree. Like, there's other better mall Christmas trees. And he's like, today is the day of revolution. Molotov cocktail. There's a 6-foot Christmas tree. And then they all start chanting, ho, ho, ho. It's so dumb.
It's really stupid.
At this point, I'm laughing pretty hard. I'm like,
this is probably my favorite part of the movie, and then it's over. Because I'm like, oh my God, this is fucking dumb. And so they go into this bank. They start monologuing, the main Santa, and his monologue is pretty much the main. He says the same thing every time.
No, he goes into this bank, and the first thing that they do before they say anything is shoot the security guard in the back of the neck.
Okay.
And he sprays blood all over the patrons and falls forward. And the guy standing there in the shot is like, oh my God. And then he goes into his monologue.
Okay, good.
The extras don't do any good in these. And the best part of after he shoots the guy is he's like, grabs some lady that's the teller. And he's like, you remind me of your mom. I like you.
You remind me of your mom.
You remind me of your mom. I banged her. No, you remind me of my mom. I like you. I love my mom, except for the fact that she birthed me onto Earth, which sucks.
Yeah, with blood.
You're like, what?
Yeah, it's like creepy, but I mean, he's implying that he's like, I'm gonna cut you open just like I did my mom, but he doesn't say that. He's just like, she brought me into this shithole. Like,
yeah.
Oh, that's dumb, sir.
It is dumb. And he tosses him into like the conference room, and he's like, "Oh, so here's an early Christmas present," and she's like, "Ooh, presents!" and opens it up like it's obviously a bomb. You fucking idiot!
Wait. What's in there?
Her eyes light up like it's Christmas morning.
Is it cookies?
And she's like, "Ooh, presents!" Is it? She opens it up and it's 2 hand grenades with the pins pulled out. I guess the lid pulled it. There's some double stick tape in there. The bomb itself is dubious because it's just a hand grenade or hand grenades, and I guess they blow up. I'm not sure.
Which they love. These guys love hand grenades in this movie. That they don't really have bombs. Because outside, their presents that they left under the lamps are also like very small explosions. They're just grenades, which like is a trope of Hollywood. Anytime you see a grenade, oh, it's going to blow up this whole building. No, they're frag grenades. They send sharp metal into your body. It's not something you want to have happen, but they're not fucking TNT or plastic. No. They're just little pops that send flying metal everywhere that gets in your face, and you're like, I'm dead from flying metal. I want to lay on one? No, but like hide under the desk, and you're probably going to be okay.
Or
there's no fire?
No.
There's incendiary grenades, but they don't work like that either. An incendiary grenade is actually meant to cause a building to catch on fire, so when they go, they stay burning for a while. It's like napalmish kind of a thing happening in a small scale where it's meant to light a fire. It's not. The Hollywood grenade is about as real as the Hollywood silencer.
Yeah, that's
like a suppressor quiets it down. It doesn't make it dead silent. There are guns that you can make dead silent, but you're looking at like low caliber, like a 22, basically.
Sure. Yeah, there's no big explosion in a grenade, Jackie. I mean, you're thinking about where grenades came from. You're chucking them over the trench into the next trench. You're not trying to blow up the trench because you then have to get in that trench. You're trying to kill the guys that are in that trench so that you can get in that trench. And the best way to do that is to send tiny shards of metal into their bodies.
Yeah. And the sort of report that you'd get visually from a grenade tossed into a foxhole or a trench is just like a plume of dust that shoots straight up from the concussion.
Yeah. So these guys need to go back to the terrorist store and do better. Get plastique if that's what you're trying to do, is blow up the bank, because you can go to work in there the next week if you putting grenades in there. You're not shutting down the banking system, because that's what their whole motivation is for this thing, is that the system, the 1%, it's a bunch of 1% is hammering the other 99%, and Christmas is the symbol of that it's all commercialized. It's not about family or cookies anymore. It's about spending all your money, and the 1%'s destroying the system. And that's why I was birthed into this shit world, because my mom didn't even love me.
I'm pretty sure that this guy never got a fucking Christmas present. He was probably a naughty little kid that got cold the entire time.
Yeah.
And the mall Santa just looked at him and goes, no.
Yeah,
don't even sit here.
Nope.
You're a little fucker. Get on.
No, I'm checking the list. Get out of here. You're not only naughty, you are banned from this mall.
You're on the no sit list.
You're on the no shit list. Okay.
No sit.
L7.
Weenie. Yeah, Sam.
I feel like the hand grenades are just because the production's rushed, right? Because if you're thinking this out, you know what you have no shortage of in prison? Arsonists.
Okay.
Who know how to blow shit up and burn shit down.
Sure.
So you would have that guy on you. If you're not rushed, you're not taking the production aspects into consideration that you have here. if you're doing Shitty Bosch versus the Fight Club on Christmas, then you have a demolitions guy on the Santa team.
Right. Yeah.
And he gets a plastic mask. He
Okay.
doesn't have to be one of the white scarf.
The red shirts of
Yeah.
this group.
Your demolitions guy's not even going to go out on the away team. He's going to be building bombs the whole time.
Yeah, he's very busy. Very busy. Watching episodes of the Rockford Files, probably on one of those tiny TVs, like a 13-inch, because that's how you always have one of those when you're in the bomb warehouse. This guy, and he's like the coroner, the morgue guy who was always eating. Like, shouldn't you be concentrating more on those explosives? No, Jim Rockford, I'm good.
Yeah. It's got pastrami all over the table.
Yeah, it's just bacon and mayonnaise covered plastic. But he's so good at it that it doesn't matter.
Is the bacon going to foul with the bomb? And he just looks at him like he's an idiot. It's bacon.
It's just
how's it going to screw up a bomb?
It's going in my belly. Okay, so we get introduced to the captain of the police. Is the captain of the police in the first one, Sam?
She's not the captain of the police. She's the FBI lady.
No, because she gives a speech saying, and we're going to cooperate it with the FBI.
The FBI guy is standing there.
Yeah, well,
why would she tell him that she's going to cooperate with him?
We are going to, it's that thing where, oh, God, the feds are here now. This is our case. No, it's international crime or interstate crime. No, she says, while she's lecturing cops, that she is a cop. She's not FBI.
Sure.
She says she's the captain.
Tell you.
Yeah, she's the captain.
Is she? Because I watched both of them, and all I know is that everyone else in this movie puts it together for the Willie, but she stinks.
Oh, she is.
She is
real bad.
Terrible.
Yeah, real bad. She vows vengeance, though. We're not going to sleep. We're not going to do presents. We're not going to do milk and cookies. We are going to find these bastards and take them down.
Even though later she brings milk and cookies and a whole catered Christmas dinner.
Well, I'm the captain of the police. Obviously, I get the cookies and milk.
She
but
also
the rest
says
of you guys
stuff
get snow to keep you awake.
Oh, okay.
Out of the evidence room.
Right.
In her, we got hit hard tonight. She's like, if they bring a knife, we'll bring a gun.
Mm-hmm.
If they bring a gun, we'll bring a bomb. If they bring a bomb, I'll get you a fucking tank. And they're like, lady, they've already escalated to hand grenades and automatic weapons. Yes, so where's our fucking tank?
Can we get that tank?
Right?
Now? Still waiting on the tank. I'm driving. Then Steven Seagal says, no, I'm driving. I'm going to run over a dog.
Oh, my God.
He did. He did. No, he had no business driving that fucking tank. He's Steven Seagal. He's good at one thing, eating. That's it. Not tanks. Let me check his good at list. No tanks. He's not good at them. Fucking ran over a dog, and it wasn't even the right house. God damn it! It was the wrong house. Fucking asshole. Okay. So Detective Night, as Sam mentioned, we can find him. He's in prison for extrajudicial murders.
Yeah.
And Casey's there as well. They're pals, or maybe they're not pals. I'm confused on their friendship or their relationship, but they're playing cards together. And we get the preacher, Conlon. Conlon is his name. He comes in. He's like, you're going to find redemption here, Casey. And it's not in these drugs. And it's not with this guy either, because I don't like him for some reason, the Detective Knight. But you're my guy for some reason. And the way I'm going to get you out of this is by telling you some Jesus shit, telling you some Christmas shit, and then sticking some pills on your jail cell door because you're a drug...
Because you're a junkie.
Junkie, yeah. And this is the only way to kick this habit and show me that you've got chutzpahs.
I guess he's a Chargers fan. He knows the athletic capabilities there.
Right? Yeah. This is the quarterback of the
prison
Chargers.
warden, too, is
Matt
great.
Stafford.
He's
Matt
like,
Stafford. Yeah.
he's like, no gambling, no fucking around, no fighting. And Bruce Willis is like, cool. And then the next time you see him, he's gambling for cigarettes with Casey.
Yeah, right?
And I guess that's what happens when you get on the other side. You already know these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I already know these guys. Sure, we used to shoot at each other, but now we're playing 7-card stud for Siggies.
Well, elsewhere, another bank is getting hit, and a security guard who is packing an AK-47, not sure if that's a thing, he comes in, shoots one of the Santas, and that guy's bleeding out, and the main Santa takes off his mask, and oh my God, it's the preacher guy. He's the head Santa. It's Conlon.
So then it breaks into this long and confusing nonlinear how they got out of prison, which is dubious as shit.
Yeah, yeah. And so the guy that got shot, he's like, oh, you said no man left behind. And he's like, I meant not bleeding to death men's don't get left behind. So you get to go into the vault with the rest of the people, and you get to be the grenade guy and blow them up. But you're holding them at your chest, so all the shrapnel is going to go into you. They will be fine. Don't do that.
Yep.
Because again, grenades are not explosives that the concussion is going to kill anybody.
I think I'm gonna gloss over how they get out. Basically, he goes up to the warden after this back and forth nonlinear. We're in the present, we're in the past. This is how they get out of prison. The escape is done by him going up to the warden and being like, "Man, I'm really good at the Jesus stuff." And the warden's like, "Oh, I know you are, son." And he's like, "I'm just worried about the guys. I just want to see them, but I can't, they don't want to see me in here. Can I look at him in the security footage?" And he's like, "Absolutely not." Well, it's Christmas. Why not?
Right.
And then
wait, what?
He takes him to the security room where a guard that's on the take of what, I'm not sure, shoots the warden, and then everybody gets let out.
Everybody. Yep. Prison break. All the cell doors open. Detective Knight just stands there. Like, I've seen
He
this.
just hangs out.
Yeah, he just hangs out. I'm not.
He won all the cigarettes, so he can he can hang out for at least a day or two. He's got enough smokes. And then the first of at least 3, the riot guards, there's only 4 of them, and there's a whole slew of prisoners, and the very first of at least 3, "Merry Christmas, motherfuckers."
Mm-hmm.
Because he says that before that we don't see the riot guards become overwhelmed. We just cut to the next scene. And I think now we're fully in the present.
Yeah. Yeah. And the captain, she comes in and she's like, she comes to Detective Knight and she's like, "Why'd you stick around?" And he's like, "Because I'll count all these cigarettes. I can't take them with me. I got to smoke them here. I mean, that's what I'm doing." And she's like, "Well, that's pretty noble of you. But how about I give you full immunity if you can take down Conlon?" And he's like, "Wait, aren't you just a police precinct captain?" And she's like, "Yes, but I am also having sex with the governor."
I guess. She says stuff that doesn't make sense.
She does not have this power. You can't give a convict full immunity, police captain. That is a high-end deal that you do not have power of. I think that only the feds and the governor can do that. Nobody else can.
He has not technically been convicted yet. He's awaiting trial.
Then he really can't get out.
Like,
you don't get immunity.
Even in FBI situations, they shackle a handler to you.
Yeah.
I mean, the best instance of this in film is the first 48 hours, and Eddie Murphy has Nick Nolte shackled to him the entire time.
And they open up the doors and he's like, "See you later, prison."
It's worse than that because she says, "I can't believe you. You disgust me. You're a vigilante. You're everything that I hate. You don't uphold the badge. But I need somebody to go out there and vigilante the shit out of these motherfuckers. So I'm setting you free because I can do that. And just go execute them." This is what?
Yeah, and then he's like, "I'm going to need your badge and your gun." And she gives him a badge and a gun. He's sworn in. Like, and here's your piece. Wait a minute. I was just in prison, and now I got a gun and a badge? I mean...
He's the only prisoner in there.
Yeah, right. I'm the last one. He's literally the last man standing, Jackie. I don't think you just get to become a cop.
No.
I think there's like...
in he's out of his jurisdiction anyway, because him and Dead Man on Campus are from L.A.
They're L.A. cops. She would have no idea that this guy's even around. Like... The only thing I know about that guy is he went to prison for killing a bunch of people. I want nothing to do with him. I mean, it's really, really fucking dumb. And like the more immunities coming, don't worry. Just deals all over the fucking place in this movie. Anyways, Conlon, he's lecturing his boys about the 1% and the Veterans Administration and fucking Christmas. I mean, he is just fucking soapboxing anything he can. He's pulling a full-on Trumpy right here.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna blow up more Christmas trees, and they're gonna have to give us a flat tax.
Yeah, and better health care. Yeah, and mental health services for veterans. Yeah.
Public transportation.
Yeah, bus system that doesn't stink. Yeah.
Girls for single men.
Girls for single men. Ho, ho, ho. And then they all start headbutting each other because they're fucking morons. God damn it. Jesus, this movie is just all over the place.
But then he says, hey, if you're not down, you can leave.
Yeah.
And what fucker is going to get up and leave? Like, anybody that knows anything, they just sit there, and then like an hour later, they go, hey, I'm out of smokes. I'll be right back. And then they never come back.
Yeah. And then you just, okay. Well, give me a pack too. Sure thing, Phil. Marlboros? No, I smoke Camels. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Bye.
and then you never come back. You don't get up and leave when they tell you can leave.
Yeah, no, you're dead meat. You're done. Like, that's stupid. Where am I?
So Casey's gonna rat him out. He's like, I just need to call my girlfriend. I'll get re-addicted to drugs for you if I can call my girlfriend or wife or whatever she is. And then he's like, okay, I'm gonna text you the address from the guy's phone. He'll never find out.
Wait, what? Because all I see is he's like, hey, can I call my family? You need to leave him behind. He's like, no, I just want to let him know I'm about to murder a bunch of guys that hate Christmas in your name. And he's like, cool. Yeah, you can call your family. He had permission to call his family.
No, he said, let me make a trade. And he presents him with the pills that he had left on his cell.
I get it. Whatever.
As a way to say that he is going to stay off the drugs and he's going to commit himself to this cause.
Details. But either way, the point is, Jackie, he got fucking permission to call his goddamn family. And now Sam's saying that there's some text message about an address involved.
So yeah, he did. He pinned it so that the girlfriend could call the police and have them all arrested.
When?
So right at the end so he says that, shows him the pills. The guy gives him his flip phone.
Right.
He goes out, calls his wife, whatever, Dottie's daughter, and he's like, I'm coming home for Christmas. It's kind of weird. There's some fucked up shit. Yeah, I'm part of that murder gang, but I'm committed to the family, and I can prove it by texting you the address. And he texts the address of where they're at.
Oh.
That he somehow knows.
Right.
To his wife on the guy's phone that would be like, wow, but he's already watching him do this. So they just beat the shit out of him and start torturing him because he's the savior of Christmas Fight Club or whatever the fuck this is. And then she calls the captain, I guess, and she's like, I'm not giving you the address until you give him full immunity. He's free and clear. We get to be a family again. And she's like, that's a tough deal to make. Cut to the raid of where they were at. And I guess the B squad's still there.
Yeah, right. They left because they took Casey and his brother that is now involved somehow. I don't know where this brother guy came from, but he's like,
oh, he's not really his brother. It's part of his crew from the first one.
oh,
This is the guy that gets shot.
okay. Anyways,
Yeah, that's the guy that. Oh, that's the guy that caused the shooting. The dead man on campus gets shot over.
great, whatever. They're like,
He's a loose cannon.
they're like, yeah, you got to prove yourself now because you text message your family. Information that should have been more clear to me because I had no idea. I'm like, you called your family and now you got to pay. And I'm like, dude, you had fucking permit. You told me I could fucking call my family. Now you got me strung up like I'm fucking Mel Gibson and you're tickling my nipples. And oh, now you want me to shoot this guy. Okay, fine. How about I shoot you? And they're like, oh no, if you shoot me, oh, we got your family. We kidnapped them. Their little presents underneath the Christmas tree. If you do anything stupid, we're going to plug them. And he's like, oh, God, I don't want to shoot you, brother. And so he pulls the trigger and the gun's not loaded. And then they're like, good job, Casey. It seems like you're on the path to the righteous war on Christmas. We're on the right side of the war on Christmas. All those happy holidays, people can suck a dick. And then they just shoot the brother right in the face. Like,
Yeah.
Hey! The not brother.
Guess he had to get back behind the camera.
There's some mayor shit going on. Like,
This is fun because I'm pretty sure that the kid that plays the mayor's son was a chess expert in the first one.
okay, all right.
Maybe he's both a cellist and a chess expert and the mayor's son, but seems like he gets to play two different people in successive movies that are completely interdependent on one another.
Yeah, so the whole thing with the mayor is like the mayor knows these guys somehow, and I don't care. We're not going to deal into that details. But the money of all the banks that these guys are hitting on, hey bank, you looking good. Hurt when you fell from the sky, bank. All the banks that these guys are hitting are like, fuck, Santa's everywhere. We got to do something with our money. And the mayor's like, well, good thing I made a secret bank that's buried underground and only the richest of the richest know about. So the richest of the richest are going to pool all their awesome stuff and monies and artwork and Les Paul guitars and put them in this basement, and nobody's going to know about it except for I might have told the Santas when I was drunk one day.
Yeah.
This secret bank is actually run and operated by the mob families.
Okay, whatever.
And it's an antique store.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Miss Lippy's car is green.
Yeah, these are details. So the Santas, they go and they grab the mayor and they nab him, and they like recruit his kid. They're like, hey, Cello's not really going so great for you. How about you rob banks with us? And he's like, oh, I guess I will because I love Christmas and you guys are... He's just, he's brainwashed into this whole thing. But meanwhile, Detective Knight, he's been pretty busy because he's at a bar. Here's your badge and your gun. Okay, I'll do what you ask. And then he just goes to a fucking bar, and he's been there this whole goddamn time. He has done nothing to stop this crime. Like, he went to the address with the other cops, and he's like, hey, Captain, they weren't here. She's like, great job. Now what?
It's
I'm
5
gonna
o'clock.
go-
Yeah.
I'm going to go drink it out until they call me on the phone.
Right. And Conlon does.
The other thing is there's no bartender. Like, he just went to this bar, was like, get the fuck out of here if you don't want to get full of bullet holes. You too, bartender. And then just sits there and drinks for free, vigilante style.
Yeah. Yeah. And then his phone rings and Conlon fucking calls him, starts lecturing him like, why are you calling me is what I would say. But also he's like, starts making it about Christmas again. Like, commercialization and we got to take these bad guys down. We're starting a whole new world. And after we destroy everything and the credit card companies, buildings crumble to the ground, and don't worry, we got everybody out of there. Helen Mirren, what's her name? Helena Bonham Carter. It's going to be a whole new Santa world. Yeah, we're going to We're going to have milk and cookies for everyone. Because that's what this is about. It's about Christmas. This whole thing is about Christmas is what I think. Because he keeps talking about it. But then Knight is like, well, the only way this is going to end is if one of us is dead. Wait, that's a vigilante thing again. Like, you're not supposed to. You were told to bring him in alive. And you're like, no, one of us has got to die. Either me or you. That's not part of your immunity deal.
He doesn't have an immunity deal. He just got turned free with a gun.
Yeah, they just unlocked
like,
the door.
I'm looking the other way. Go kill all these people.
Stupid. So the Santas, they put the mayor in a van, and they head to the final bank, and the mayor goes in first, and security's pretty not great at this bank, I'll be honest. Like, there's a guy at a desk, and that's it, and I don't know if he's even packing heat. You know, like, there's more valuables here than maybe Fort Knox. I don't know. That's a bold statement. But there's pretty expensive stuff. I noticed a Goya in there.
Yeah.
It's you know, worth a lot of money.
It's like the world's treasures are all of a sudden here.
Yeah.
And these Santas have done it. Like, there's grandiose ideas that are not able to be represented on screen because they don't have the means. So dial it back, maybe.
Dial the security back?
No, dial back what these Santas are going after. Like, riches of the town, that's fine. There's a Buddha in there. There's some Egyptian treasures.
Yeah.
Like, this is the Knights. They're like, oh, we found the Knights Templar treasure. And we can the treasure of the Templar. We can reverse the course of society and change the world for the better because of these nutsacks in this town had all this stuff, and 18 Santas can make this happen. Also, deck the halls with blood, motherfuckers.
Right.
And he says that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I guess if they'd made it just about like, oh, we're getting like $10 million between us 10 guys.
100.
Okay, 100 million. Yeah, 100 million. Then I guess maybe that would be too much Die Hard. Like, oh, you guys are just crooks?
If you were on this path and this is your first stop, a hundo's going to get you funded where you can actually get going where you're wanting to go. Yeah. You can still be part of the cause if you're going to, but your first stepping stone is that first hundo, right?
Yeah. Either way, security's way too lax at this place. Like, they got to do better.
It is.
Yeah. So they just go in, they shoot the first guy, the only guy. And, but then, Knight's there. Because how does he know any of this? He shows up. He's got a shotgun.
His partner tells him.
His partner?
Yeah. So his partner is like, the mayor had something about an antiques shop and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then they have a rooftop scene where they're friends again. And he's like, let's just go home. You're set free dubiously. You can just leave now, I guess. And they doesn't. And then he calls him on the phone later and goes, I know where it's going to happen at that antique shop that you tipped me off to. And he's like,
once that antique shop?
Oh, okay. It's a front for the banks and the mafia or something.
I bet the third movie's going to be about the mafia and this bank heist.
Okay. Still, I'm not real clear, like, hey, yeah, so they I was listening in on their phone calls or whatever because I've got NSA style bugs on their phones, and they said something about an antique store. No, and then like later he's like, antique store.
No,
it's got to be the antique store where they keep all the treasures of the world.
Yeah, but
it's
it was
that easy.
Dead man on campus went to the mayor's office and saw that he had way too much on this antique store on his desk to not be suspicious.
Oh, yeah.
So he inadvertently solved this.
Okay, it's Christmas time.
And
he just didn't follow his own lead.
Right, and the mayor also said that he had moved all of his prized possessions to a bank that was only available to the 1%. Because he asked him about, like, safety deposit box. What's this guy trying to get? Blah, 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 blah.
And so the mayor, who is like, oh, he's got a bunch of antique store stuff, during Christmas time, he's the fucking mayor. He's looking for a gift for his wife. Jesus Christ. It's still too dubious. I don't care what the movie tells you how smart it is. There's no way that Detective Knight goes, hey, my buddy who's a cop said the mayor's into antique stores a lot. That's where the bank of all our stuff is. It's fucking dumb, guys.
Are you sure it's there? It's the only thing I've heard anyone say out loud, so I'm going with that.
Lock and load. Exactly. It's stupid. So he's there with the goddamn shotgun, and I guess he's like, there's a security access that the mayor has to go through to even get on the elevator, but Detective Knight just gets to, like, I guess it's unlocked forever now. I'm here. Like,
yeah.
God damn it.
Well, it is unlocked because the crooks are going in and out, unloading stuff.
Right, then, so he just is like, don't mind me. Like, it's still
he doesn't
stupid,
actually
Jackie.
say that. He just starts shooting them.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he puts on a Santa mask.
You should mind me because I'm shooting you.
He puts on a Santa mask and he murders them one by one because they think that he's one of them.
So they're making Casey do all this shit still because, you know, packing up money and stuff, him and Conlon, because I guess Casey is like, we got your family. So now you're my, like, third in line of command. Like, you don't just get to stand outside and keep a lookout for Detective Knights. You have to be here with me because I'm grooming you or whatever the fuck. I don't know what his agenda is, but that's still going on. In comes Mass Knight, and he chucks a grenade. He starts blasting fool Santas indiscriminately. He kills like 15 guys in as many seconds. Like, it is fast carnage. This movie went from not doing anything to a lot.
Walking into his shotgun so that he doesn't have to do much.
No, he does not. They just bing, bing, bing. They're like the little ducks at the shooting range. Just hold your gun still and go bing, bing, bing. That's what they're doing. Well, the last 5 make it into the van, and but Knight is there also, and they're like, oh, trucks can stand off. And Casey and the actual right-hand man, they get in a tussle, and Detective Knight and Conlon are shooting at each other, and the driver gets shot, and then Detective Knight's out of lead. Oh, no, got you dead to rights. Christmas rights or passage. I don't know. And oh no, Detective Knight's going to die. But then out of nowhere,
the wheels of justice.
The wheels of justice are there.
And he shoots him in the cheek. He's like, ow, you shot me in the cheek.
Also, we're downstairs. How'd you get down here? This place isn't ACA compliant. You're fast.
And I like how nobody heard the wheelchair. Like, nobody heard the wheelchair coming at him. Squeak, squeak, squeak.
He's just there out of goddamn nowhere. And, like, there's a reverse shot, and it's a fucking parking garage. Yeah. There's, like, a long ways to go for him to get to where they're at.
His like, elevator, maybe. I think there's probably a cutting room floor scene where you've got him yelling at the captain, just grease my wheels. I need silent running. And she's like, I'm a single mother. He's like, shut up with your bad acting and grease my wheels so I can be stealthy.
Also, wait a minute. Did they say antique store? Huh. That's where this is all shaken down at.
He doesn't bother to tell any of the actual jurisdiction police either.
Nope. Oh, yeah, and I forgot the greatest line of this whole movie is Bruce Willis standing there, like, they're standing off at each other, like, oh, how about you just die? Oh, yeah, well, here's what's going to happen next. I'm going to shove a Christmas tree up your ass. And Conlon says, a Christmas tree? And Bruce Willis says, yeah, the whole thing.
All the way.
All the way. Wait. Like,
and then I'm going to light it on fire.
Like a fir? Like a Douglas? Like, those aren't small. They're bigger than me. How are you even going to accomplish that?
Yep. Going to shove a whole Christmas tree up your ass and light it on fire.
You can't shove the whole thing up my ass because it's bigger than me. It will, like, you can't fit it in me. It's bigger. Do you not understand geometrical
If he
science.
splits in half, that's,
It's still not
collateral
in
damage.
me. Yeah, that's not good for me, but you're full of shit, man. You can't put an entire Christmas tree in me. You can't. Give up. Bruce Willis. Just shoot each other. Okay. It's a really stupid line. Casey and he wins the hencher fight. Conlon gets plugged a bunch of times. But I guess he's got a bulletproof chest on or vest on.
All non-lethal. He got shot in the cheek, probably in the neckish area. He's taking a few in the vest. He's having a hard time. He's bleeding pretty good. And he's like, just kill me. And then Bruce Willis gives at least number 2, but possibly number 3. Merry Christmas, motherfucker.
Right.
Your Christmas present is going back to prison.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Meanwhile, Casey's been just let go. He's just free now.
Talks to Dead Man on campus for a little bit. He's like, are we good here or as good as we can be? And he's like, I'm going to shoot you in 4 seconds. Fuck off. And he does.
But he fucks off, not gets shot. But either way, Casey is free now. A, Casey escaped from fucking federal prison. B, joined a terrorist organization, and the only thing he did to help was give a false lead. And he's free.
Free.
Robbed a bank, shot some people. He's good to go because of that bad lead.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So he runs home, and the police are there. They have busted into his wife's house and shot the 2 Santas that were holding her hostage.
They didn't shoot him, but that whatever. Details. His family's freed. The mayor's arrested because
he's like, where's my son? And they're like, oh shit, Jim Jones was over there and he just wandered off with him.
Like, what are you up to?
Yeah.
Why is the mayor arrested?
Being in on it?
He was held at gunpoint.
No idea.
It's the same as, wait, we went into the mayor's office and saw that he had some advertisements for a antique store during Christmas time. Wait a minute, he doesn't love his wife. That's got to be a bank and he's in on it.
Yeah, I don't know why he's arrested.
It's stupid. Then there's Marvel-style credits. We get a post-cutscene. And Dead Man on Campus gets on stand in a Neil Breen movie. Did you see this, Sam?
No, I didn't.
You didn't make it to the post?
Because I just went through 3 hours of this stuff. So, like, when the credits rolled, I was like, oh, fuck, I'm out.
Yeah, no,
and I started writing down. And then I spent another hour and a half reading about everything involved with these movies.
That's a damn shame that you didn't watch this because it's green screen with him on a stand, like a chair. Like he's on the stand, but he's actually just sitting in a chair because they green screen this whole goddamn thing. And then the prosecuting attorney is way worse at acting than anybody in this movie. It is bad. I was like, wait, that's a Neil Breen movie. What just happened? And he's like, yeah, that night guy, he smells bad. He doesn't pay his taxes, and weak handshake, but he's one hell of a cop. And they're like, well, he's a cop again. He gets all his shit back because this guy in this green screen scene said that he was cool. So he's a full-on cop now with full vigilante immunity. License to kill, baby.
Then the closing scene is Bruce Willis, and it looks like he's at a crime scene.
Yeah. He's got his, what's his name? Sunglasses on. It looks like that's a wrap. Won't get fooled again. Comes on. Because he's now, what's that guy's name? God damn it.
David Caruso.
David Caruso, thank you. Jesus, all right. That's the movie. Questions, Jackie first.
I don't have any.
Yeah, you do. It's an easy one. Did he kill Conlon? Sam says no. The movie, why do you say no? Because he's in the third one and you know about it, Sam?
No, no one's in the third one, I don't think, except maybe Gretzky's kid comes back. I don't know if Casey's in it. It doesn't seem like he is.
Okay, why do you think that he didn't kill Conlon? Focus.
Because he hates him and he's like, Merry Christmas, motherfucker. You have to live in prison because he's like, I can't go back. So I think he's just being a dick.
There's
like,
one
ordinarily
way
I would kill anybody for no reason because I'm heartless. But since you want to die, you get to live, you shit bag.
Yeah, but that line could be taken in two different ways. He could be saying, it's Christmas time. Here's your gift. Blap, blap.
No, he doesn't shoot him.
He doesn't shoot him. He sends him off to prison.
It cuts it away. It cuts away. We don't know what happens. There's nothing in the post credits of Conlon in prison at all. It just, and don't forget, Bruce Willis earlier in this film said there's only way that this ends. One of us is dying. Not
he was wrong.
Well, maybe I'm gonna let you live. He says, Merry Christmas, motherfucker. Again, that could be taken the way you think, Sam. Like, ha ha ha. I meant that in jest. Actually, you're going to prison, which is what you don't want. Or Merry Christmas, I'm putting you out of your misery. I think he kills him.
I don't.
Well, that's too bad because I'm always right. He kills him.
Okay.
No, I mean, it's too vague. What the fuck? We don't know. We think. I think he killed him. I don't have any evidence of that. Neither do you guys. It's too vague. We got to know what happened. You got to know what happened. Who's this character that we're dealing with, this Detective Knight? Is he the type that's on the path to road to redemption, or is he just still a bad guy killing vigilante?
Well, I mean, the name of the movie's Redemption.
Yeah, so he redeems himself by not shooting the last shitbag.
Then make him, like, feel good about himself in the end, like, now I can start working on getting my family together or whatever, you know, put my life back together. I'm not the man I used to be. None of that happens. It's just he's standing on a street corner pulling a David Caruso. It sucks. Sam, question.
Why is he so interested in Casey?
With Conlon or?
Conlon.
Yeah, why?
Because he's a huge Charger fan.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
And I'll expand upon that.
It's good at crime.
After they get this first haul and they really start going after the government, what they're gonna do is they're gonna Molotov the Rockefeller Center tree.
Okay.
But they can't get close enough, and they need somebody with a good arm.
Good rocket arm.
To throw it in there.
Yeah.
And then, ho, 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 we got the guy from the Chargers. Didn't think we could hit it from there. 60 yards, no problem.
What's kind of a tragedy is the first time they tried this, they got the kicker from the Chargers. And it didn't go so well for the kicker.
Nate Kading?
Yeah.
They got Scott Norwood.
No, I mean, like,
you can't hit the hot dog stand.
No, you can't punt a Molotov cocktail, Sam. It doesn't matter how good of a kicker you are. You can't punt a Molotov. It's all over your leg.
Yeah.
They're for chucking, not for kicking.
Yeah. No.
Not to mention the placeholder. Man, that guy had nerves of steel holding that Molotov cocktail that was burning his fingers. Yeah, you can't punt a Molotov. You gotta
no.
them.
It's like Colorado State Bank is looking for a new face because Nate Kading burned alive.
Yeah, right. It's an obscure reference. My question is, we talked about this before, like we briefly touched on it. Or not briefly, we talked at length about it, but like, yes, good for you, Bruce Willis, for still acting and doing, you know, this is what I'm doing, this is what I can do, and I'm gonna do it. But at the same time, like, I kind of wonder, does Bruce Willis deserve better?
I don't know. I mean, considering what sort of concessions they were making for him and the financial compensation, if this is true, if he raked in $40 million in 2 years and was being handled as competently by people that he knew, as it leads us to believe, then he got, you know, a bag of cash for his family.
Yeah,
and that's pretty cool.
My point is, yeah, he does. But let's put this apples to apples. He still gets a bag of cash no matter what. But he does one good movie or 20 shitty movies.
Could he have done one good one?
I don't know. Maybe, maybe a movie about Alzheimer's dementia. I don't know. But is it sad to you guys that the last time we're going to see this guy in film is a really, really bad movie?
I'm not, because these are so bad and they're so just shitty Bosch. They're just the shittiest Bosch ever. And it's like shitty Bosch versus the heist. This one has shitty Bosch versus the Fight Club, and it's the same strategy that they used in Fast 5 to get the money conglomerated. But it's also dubious that you have to think about it later to realize that that's what they were going for. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like Bruce Willis there's so many of those memorable roles that he already did that in his state, maybe this is what he could do. It's one day a month, and it worked out for him.
Jackie, Sam says no, he would rather see Bruce Willis end in movies like this. Where do you think?
I think that if he was not coerced, I don't believe that he was anyway, and he left something for his fans. And I don't really care what he did at the end, whether it was shit or whether it was a blockbuster. I think he did it for his fans and he did it for himself. And I think that that's what matters. And this was the project he chose to work on.
Well, I'm going to disagree. I would have rather seen him in some deeply emotional role like the Peanut Butter Conspiracy or whatever the hell that was with Just Do It guy, the Shia LaBeouf. That's a tough role. You're playing, something. That's what I would have rather seen him do. But here's the thing. Fuck me. I don't get to tell Bruce Willis what to fucking do. Bruce Willis gets to tell Bruce Willis what to fucking do. If this is what he wanted to do for his last fucking movie, hell fucking yeah, Bruce Willis. You did it. Good job.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
He went out on his own terms.
Yeah,
good for him.
Yeah.
Last question. Does this movie capture the true spirit of Christmas? Jackie. Well, Sam. Sam, we'll go with Sam first.
No.
Okay. Why not?
It doesn't capture any sort of tangible or solid idea, I don't think.
Okay. Jackie?
No. I think we get Santa Clauses that are smattered in blood, Molotov Christmas trees, and a threat of a Christmas tree being shoved up somebody's butt and lit on fire. Those are pretty much the only Christmas references.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and disagree with you guys again, but not in the way you think I'm going to. This is a very, Scooby-Doo-esque episode of me. Yes, it does capture the true Christmas spirit of Christmas, but not intentionally. Because of all his fucking lecturing about the commercialization of Christmas, I started eye-rolling in my head like, oh, God, here we fucking go again with this. Every movie that's like, oh, Christmas is too commercialized. That's all it's about anymore is the money, the money, the money, the money. But here's the thing. No, it is not. Absolutely. There is no basis for saying that. And I know you want to say that because I hate Christmas because I'm a Scrooge, but we spend a shit ton of money on Christmas, like us as a society, like a lot of money. A lot of people make a lot of money during the holidays, right? Like, there's, the commercials are now showing even before Halloween, and people have got their Christmas decorations up before they even fucking think about Thanksgiving, and it's just commercial. Oh, you go down to Home Depot and you spend an entire paycheck on Christmas decorations, like maybe somebody we actually know, us, and. But the thing is that, yes, there's all this money involved, but why the fuck do you think those people are spending that money? It's not because they're spending it on themselves, you stupid bastard. They're spending it on people that they fucking care about. Even the stuff like Christmas decorations. Do you think that there's like a trophy that's handed out at the end of the year for having the best Christmas decorations? No, you do it so you want to have people around you be joyful. Like, see, but the spirit of Christmas, that looks really great. And people go around with cocoa and their kids are all bundled up in their pajamas and the kids get to see the fucking Christmas lights. That's goddamn fucking Christmas. So if we spend a shit ton of goddamn money and some guy gets rich about it, off of it, and it gives some children goddamn happiness, fuck off with your commercialization of Christmas argument. Hell yeah, go Christmas. That's what this movie did for me.
Say that.
No, but that's what this movie did for me. Is he's fucking lecturing this all fucking 1% and all blah blah blah. The spirit of Christmas is dead, so we're gonna fucking burn it down and start over. That's what I felt while watching him argue it. I am so sick of like the fucking war on Christmas and commercialization on Christmas. Step outside and talk to your fucking neighbors if you feel that way, and maybe say, "Hey, I hope you and your family have a great day that day." Clink.
But the movie doesn't do that. He gets all muddled with deep state bullshit.
I know, but that's what it made me feel like, because I'm just saying it didn't intend to capture the true spirit of Christmas, Sam. But for this one particular Stinker Madness host, it sure goddamn did.
Okay, well, that's good for you, I guess.
Yep.
Meanwhile, for me, fuck you.
Oof.
I'm
You're just as bad as the preacher in this movie, Justin. Let me stand on my soapbox and tell you fuckers about Christmas.
Tired of people bitching about Christmas. I'm tired of it. Fuck off. You don't like it? Don't celebrate it, but quit lecturing us about how we celebrate it. Fuck off. Yeah, that's the end of Christmas, guys. Next week we will be off because it will actually be Christmas Eve and then Christmas Day, and so there won't be an episode during that. But
don't worry, we'll still be getting drunk.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they weren't worried about that, considering that's never been a problem. It's come up on this podcast. Oh God, we can't get drunk. No. Listeners like, oh, those poor people. Yeah, so we'll be back after the week after, which will be New Year's Day, but we're all old and we can probably get the episode done. And we are going to do a special treat that I found on Amazon Prime called New York Ninja. So look forward to that. It'll be a good start to the new year. Have a Merry, Merry Christmas and a happy holidays. And good Hanukkah, because it's still Hanukkah. Kwanzaa, if you're down with that. And just spend time with your loved ones and get to the chopper.